close your eyes or keep them half open. Any attitude that helps you to the interiorization and especially connection with all of who you are, all of your experience inside. You're sitting without back and you're not comfortable, you can also lie down against the, just thinking out like, yeah, it's important to be comfortable. So I invite you to breathe deeply a couple of times, allowing the breath, the prana to go in, not only into your lungs, into your belly, but also throughout your entire body. Through your arms and hands, through your legs and feet. And as it goes through your feet, also giving that prana, that spirit to the land, the soil. If you cannot feel the air going through your arms and legs, you can simply just imagine as if the air is traveling through them in the same way that it is traveling through your lungs and your belly. However you are seated, if you have your 2 feet on the ground, or you have your crossed legs, or any other way, I invite you to connect with that sense of groundedness, of rootedness that being against the soil offers. And some special attention to the soles of your feet, your buttocks, your legs, whatever is touching the feet. Inviting a sense of rootedness, of groundedness into the soil. That is also important in life, especially when we want to fly high without getting lost, without getting confused. And as we feel a bit more grounded in the body, in your legs, I invite you to put one hand, the one you wish, on your lower belly, the vital center, that area between your belly and your genital area, and your other hand in the center of your chest. Remembering something that all healers, all indigenous healers and healers of the world know very well, and that here in the West we have somehow forgotten for the most part. That our hands are not only to touch, but also to listen deeply. I invite you to develop an attitude of deep listening to your vital center, to your heart. And there is nothing else you need to do than offering yourself a sense of presence and openness. Feeling the importance of this bridge between our vital center, our vitality, our sexuality, and our hearts. Reflecting in our everyday life. How are these centers connected, aligned, are there interferences? The importance so that your sexuality is not only passionate and strong and instinctive, but it's also tender and vulnerable under the influence of the heart. And so that your heart It's also not only emotional and vulnerable, but rooted in the strong energies of the vital center. It's a heart that doesn't fall into unhealthy dependencies because it's rooted in your own vital energy. Perhaps it's time for your heart to stop looking outside in relationships, in attachments, but it can only find inside, in its own form, in its own root, that vital energy. Regardless what you're feeling in this moment, I invite you to open a space of unconditional acceptance. Once again, it only requires openness and presence. Accepting what you like about yourself, as well as what you don't like about yourself, for whatever reason. Accepting equally what you feel proud about yourself, what you, for whatever reason, you may feel that it's shame or doubt or self-criticism. Accepting without conditions, not in the condition to know. I invite you to accept all the infinite potentials that you carry inside that still haven't manifested in your life. We're a mystery to ourselves. These infinite vital seeds waiting to be awakened within each of us. Sometimes only we accept what we like about ourselves and we reject what we don't. And in that way we create a polarization inside, a sense of a struggle that makes those habits, those tendencies that very likely appear in your life to protect you, to take care of you at some point in your trajectory, but that you may not longer need them. They make them stronger with the struggle, with the rejection. And sometimes they only need to be unconditionally accepted in your body, your instinct, in your heart, to relax, to stop the fight. And as they relax, they can more easily transform into a different energy, much more aligned with the moment that you want to build in your life. Little by little, I invite you to hand your heart in your heart, to bring it to your forehead. A center connected to the mind, but also to consciousness. Once again, realizing the importance for your vitality, your vital center, your sexuality, to be connected to your consciousness, your spirituality. Those two energies belong to each other, like the ancient myth of Psyche and Eros told us thousands of years ago. They are destined to each other. They are the true beloved for each other. So that Psyche can be divinized and Eros can be humanized. So that our sexuality can gain light and direction beyond its own evolutionary patterns, instinctive patterns. And so that the energy of your consciousness can also be vitalized and achieving even an erotic quality. So your mind is not like a cold place of abstractions and cold thoughts, but a warm place, a juicy place. Accepting unconditionally here too, whatever is emerging in your experience. Regardless if it's unpleasant or neutral. Simply opening that embrace of unconditional acceptance once again. By little, you can bring your hand and your forehead back to your vital center with the other hand. Breathe from the vital center a few times as start beginning to close this meditation. This more than a meditation is a contemplative inquiry into your experience. As you exhale, if there is any sound that wants to come out, any tension inside, allow it to come through. Little by little, without any kind of rush, you can start moving your body a little, fingertips, your fingers, arms and legs, stretching a little your wrists. Like if it was like a fresh morning, waking up a very fresh day. Little by little, opening your eyes, if you still have them closed. And without losing connection with whatever was happening inside of you, or I simply invite you to, for a few minutes, to look around the room and establish some eye contact with people from this place where you are now. Non-verbal, just simply like saying hi with your eyes. Thank you. Engaging. This is like a very, very brief experiential introduction to some of the work that will happen in the workshop. That is a work that is about really integrating different centers. Although in this case, because of the new space we were in Northern Nave, we had to do it like more individually. My intention was like to do it like all the work that we do in the workshop is more interactive, and the physical contact happens between people. So we'll talk more about that at the end of the presentation. But we're gonna go ahead with the presentation now, and what I would like to do is to two things, like to set some coordinates for the workshop for those of you who are interested, have already registered, or you are open to come. But also, I feel that I'd like to do a talk that is not fundamental. It's not just a preparation for the workshop. My hope, my sense is that even if you don't take the workshop, or it's not your moment, you're not interested, you will still get something of value or something stimulating for your own reflection from the talk. So the talk I call it Sexuality, Body and Spirituality towards a necessary integration, and we're going to use some slides, some images. Maybe for the slideshow, how is it, can you see it well? Let me see this house.
Yeah, we
know. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's dark here, but our eyes will get used. And I think it's good that the images will be. This is Sancaneros, by the way, and that's like a root that transcends, it's like someone that looks like it's connected to the cosmos, through his body, right, or her body. So anyway, let's go for first slide, please. So the first thing I want to share is like and this is of course like a total generalization, as many of the things I would say in like 40-50 minutes have to be that way, is that in some ways we can talk about two different spiritual orientations that cross across traditions and times and places, And one of the orientations is that spirituality that is focused on the transcendence of the primary dimension of the human being, of the body, of sexuality and instinct. Yes.
¿Voy con la traducción o no con la traducción? ¿Cómo sienten?
Como que con esto lo que digo se entiende los que no... Claro, hacemos traducción.
¿Lara?
Bueno, yo ahora no estaba lo que decías, estaba otra cosa.
Sí,
no me...
¿Hacemos traducción?
Sí.
Okay,
Habla un poco más.
Yes.
Sí, o si no, pues sea traducción.
Okay, let's see how far we get. Yes, good. So I'm just talking I'm just introducing two different spiritual orientations in general that they go, across times, across traditions, across places, And the first one is one that is based on the kind of a transcendence of the primary dimension of the human being, and by that I understand sexuality, the instincts, and the body.
Sí, como que él, se muestran aquí como dos tipos de espiritualidad y la primera está como más relacionada con la sublimación de los instintos,
la trascendencia.
La trascendencia de los instintos más básicos, ¿no? Eso es algo muy...
Y esta espiritualidad es una espiritualidad... This is spirituality, and it can take different forms, so we'll not go into them because of time. And one is repression, right? Repression of those instincts, repression of sexuality, like control of the body, like fortification, aesthetic practices, But also it can take the form more gentle of sublimation. And sublimation is when we use the energy, for example, the vital energies, to open the love of the heart, right? Or to use those energies as a catapult for consciousness to go into disembodied space of consciousness.
Sí. Vale. Ok. Dentro de esta espiritualidad como hay una parte que tiene más que ver con el control de los instintos, pero también hay una parte que es más como con la sublimación de utilizar esa energía sexual como simplemente para abrir el corazón e incluso para expandir la mente. O sea,
la conciencia está disembodied very often, like in certain forms of ancient tantra, it wasn't about being here, but it was about Shiva and Shakti encontering themselves in a consciousness space,
Claro, por ejemplo, en el tantra se utiliza esta energía como para...
Las antiguas, antiguo tantra, no el tantra.
Bueno, sí, vale, sí, pero en el antiguo tantra. Sí, pero es que está presente en el antiguo tantra también en las prácticas. Bueno, eso sí, utilizar esta energía para trascender la conciencia.
So in those ways, we could say this kind of interaction is almost like a patriarchal marriage, in the sense that there's like some energies that are controlling the others, like normally the masculine ones controlling the Shakti, right? Or using the Shakti at the service of Shiva, for using an Hindu language for a moment. Vale, lo digo en español. Sí, no pasa nada. Se podría hablar de este funcionamiento en algunos casos como si fuera un matrimonio patriarcal, en el sentido de que es el hombre que controla a la mujer, ciertos centros controlan más de arriba, más mentales, más civilizados, controlan los más primitivos, los más primarios, los más conectados con el cuerpo y la sexualidad, que también se ha asociado históricamente a la mujer. Y también, pues eso, ¿no? Como como ese control o el uso de esas energías, por ejemplo, Shakti Energies en el hinduismo, en el Tantra, ¿no? Para las metas de la conciencia.
So it's also like in
Bueno,
the uses of Shakti energies, the feminine energies for masculine purposes.
right. So the other type is more about the integration. It's not about the use of one energy at the expense of the other or the control of an energy, but it's about the integration, like a mutual transformation, a cross-fertilization. That's what you want in your marriage or in your secret union, you know, like that you transform yourself and your partner as equals, right?
Y que hay otro tipo de espiritualidad que comprende estas energías de una manera más integrada, ¿no? La mente, la sexualidad, el corazón.
Mutua transformación, ¿no? Que es lo que queréis, supongo, en las parejas, en la relación íntima, hacemos una relación mutua entre iguales, ¿no? Vale. Y esto creo que es una especie de unión sagrada. Siguiente. ¿Por qué digo que es una integración necesaria entre esta energía de la conciencia tan conectada con los estados espirituales?
Why I say that we need an integration of this? Because the topic of the talk was a necessary integration. So he's explaining why a necessary integration.
Between the energy of consciousness and between the primary energy sexual, because they do need each other, you know, as I mentioned in the meditation, like the vital energy helps the energy of consciousness to get rooted in the body. It gives them like roots, it brings it down, a process of incarnation.
Se necesita, la energía vital encarna a la mente.
Y a la conciencia.
Y a la conciencia, la trae al cuerpo, ¿no?
Y no es en vano, ¿no? que la sexualidad es algo que atrae mucho a la conciencia, a la materia, ¿no?
Sexuality attracts the consciousness to the matter.
This is the highest teaching, so we can finish the talk and go. Okay. But the other way around too, like it's important for our sexuality also to be connected to the energy of life, right? The energy of life, so that it's like not just blind, instinctive sex actions. Que la energía sexual también es importante que esté conectada con la energía de la conciencia para que no se rija por modelos de patrones instintivos ciegos, ¿no? Que han estado en la evolución de todas las faunas especies por millones de años. Okay. Next. It's not a duality. It's not those two energies have different energies. For me, as for us, well as for most people I know that study studies, is the same energy, but in different states of transformation. And one of the energies normally takes you to the other.
No son energías duales, no son dos energías separadas, están unidas y una te lleva a la otra. Conciencia y sexualidad estamos hablando, ¿verdad?
Yes, sí. Okay. When you go deeper into the sexual energy, really deep, the sense of the sacred emerges.
Cuando vas profundo en la sexualidad, una sensación de sagrado emerge.
Cuando vas deeper into the energy of consciousness, the sense of the ecstatic emerges.
Cuando vas profundo en la conciencia, una sensación de estático.
All the ecstatic mystics, Teresa, San Juan,
East
and West,
emerge.
And they both have in common an openness to the mystery. Eros is mystery, consciousness is mystery. This openness to the mystery is, I think, what brings them together.
Las dos, tanto la sexualidad como la conciencia, te llevan hacia el misterio, hacia el eros, hacia lo desconocido.
Next. But many people experience tensions between their sexuality and their spiritual values. And actually, historically, we have received tensions. We have come from a society, a culture that have not had a very good reference of integration of those energies.
Como hay muchas personas que experimentan su sexualidad y la espiritualidad de una manera tensa, y de hecho hemos recibido muchos modelos tensos sobre esta relación.
Sí, tensión. Sí.
A nivel histórico.
Y eso, it's meaningful, it makes sense, because there are different forms, right? A sexuality could be superficial, mechanical, patriarchal, heterogenital, disconnected from the heart and consciousness, like boom, 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 the one that we see in porn, for example.
Que tiene sentido, ya que podemos encontrar diferentes tipos de sexualidad. Él llama como superficial, como más mecánica, más genital o patriarcal.
And another one that you can say is a profound sexuality. That's the one that is really open to the mystery, right? That's really connected to all of who you are, you know. And that's what I call the ars erotica, what is being called the ars erotica.
Sí, o sea, la sexualidad profunda, como más conectada con todo el cuerpo y lo que llaman el ars erótico.
Same with spirituality. This is more superficial, or perhaps passion is the best term, in the sense that many spiritualities sound like kind of heart chakra up, right? The cultivate consciousness, the heart, but very often they see with ambivalence to the body and sexuality. Sometimes they demonize the pleasure, sometimes they control the body, right? And also there is another profound function of spirituality that is a full body spirituality that's integrative for all of who you are, so you don't need to leave your home to access those meanings, and that's the mystical, and simplifying tremendously.
Y como de la misma manera como hay dos tipos de espiritualidad, la más superficial que te lleva como a estar desconectado de tu cuerpo y más como los chakras superiores, más en la mente o en lo abstracto, y una profunda que es completamente encarnada en el cuerpo y más enraizada y de todo el cuerpo.
In a way, to bring an analogy here, it's like in this profound spirituality, it's like your body is your house, right? So the windows and doors of your house can be open or closed to the light of the sun, right? If your house's windows are closed, you're gonna feel at home like, ooh, and you're gonna want to come out from desperation because you need the light, right? And we see this a lot, like in many spiritual circles in which people get hooked to spiritual highs over and over again, and they get even addicted to spiritual highs.
Claro, como una metáfora, como si tu cuerpo tiene todas las ventanas abiertas, ¿no?
Las puertas
abiertas, puedes dejar entrar la luz del sol, pero que si estás cerrado y experimentas como oscuridad, vas a ir a buscar la luz afuera, y por eso vemos a lo mejor en tantos círculos de gente que se queda adicta como a experiencias espirituales, pero fuera, porque no lo encuentra en sí mismo.
And this is part of what this work is about. It's about opening the doors and windows of our body, of our being, to the light, so that when we go out, it's not going to be out of desperation or compulsion, but out of celebration and enjoyment.
Así cuando abrimos esas puertas, ¿no?
Parte del trabajo, la propuesta de trabajo, ¿no? Es un trabajo que también va en parte a poco ir abriendo las puertas y ventanas de nuestro ser, de nuestro cuerpo, de nuestro hogar, cuerpo, para que tengamos lucecita, calorcito dentro, y que cuando queramos salir a hacer una excursión fuera, no sea por desesperación o compulsión, sino por disfrute y celebración. Vale, next. So the point here is un poco el misterio creativo Eros, ¿no? As I understand it, Eros is like using Eros from the Greeks, it's an evolutionary impulse, and it's not just spirit and non-physical consciousness, but also matter, body, sexuality, nature, all that is that energy. Let's continue because when the translation we're gonna. Okay, if you allow me to get a bit more cosmic here now. From Eros is the primal desire of creation, right? That's Eros, and that's understandings of the ancient Greeks as well as many other traditions. It's that kind of erotic force that cuts through reality, healing and transforming everything it touches.
Para mí el Eros es la fuerza de la creación, todo lo que toca, es muy bonito.
Es la fuerza erótica que atraviesa toda la realidad, sanando y transformando todo lo que toca. Entonces, esa fuerza que también emerge desde la principio de creación del cosmos. Next slide. Aquí tenemos otra visión de estas, ¿no? Con los distintos estadios de la evolución cósmica, ¿no? Que es muy bonita.
Cosmic evolution.
And this is my great friend and cosmologist Brian Swim. Here teaches at my university where I used to teach. And there's this great Grammy Award documentary I highly recommend. Maybe you can play it here and invite him soon or something. It's amazing. But he says something really powerful. It's like,